Hello everyone, I'm Dhanashri Prabhu and welcome to GSTZen Annual Returns webinar series. I would be walking you through the input tax credit related provisions for the purpose of GSTR-9 of 1819. The aspects that I would be covering are understanding ITC reporting, how to arrive at Table 8 from GSTR-2A, understanding reporting in Table 8, ineligible credits reporting, whether it should be reported at all in GSTR-9, credits carried forward, what is to be done about that. First of all, the thumb rule for reporting of input tax credit is that the input tax credit that is reported in GSTR-9 for a particular year is the input tax credit that is availed in GSTR-3B of that particular year. So in our case, since we're talking about 1819, the input tax credit to be reported in GSTR-9 of 1819, that is, I'm specifically talking about Table 6 and Table 7, is the input tax credit availed in GSTR-3B for the financial year 1819. So to elaborate, I would say, if there are purchases of 1718 and they're booked in 1718, credit is also availed in 1718 GSTR-3B, then it is to be reported in GSTR-9 of 1718. If the credits are booked in 1718, availed in 1819, they are to be reported in GSTR-9 of 1819. The credits booked in 1819, although the invoice is related to 1718 and they are availed in 1819, they are to be reported in GSTR-9 of 1819. Similarly, for the purchases of 1819, that is invoices dated 1819, if they are booked in 1819 and the credits are availed in 1819, they are to be reported in GSTR-9 of 1819. If they are booked in 1819, credits availed next year, that is 1920, they are to be reported in GSTR-9 of 1920. Again, here I'm talking about Table 6 and Table 7 of GSTR-9. If the credits are booked in 1920 and availed in 1920, they are to be reported in GSTR-9 of 1920. So like I said, the thumb rule is that the credits to be reported in a particular year of GSTR-9 is to be linked to GSTR-3B and does not matter when the credits are really accounted for in the books of accounts. Having said this, the credits of 1718, that is the invoice dated 1718, could have been availed in GSTR-3B up to March 2019. Although for general use case, the credits can be availed by September of the next financial year. So for 1819, the credits of the invoices dated 1819 have to be availed by September of 2019. And the exception for March 2019 was only for the financial year 1718. Coming to the total reporting of input tax credit, there are 4 tables in GSTR-9 where the input tax credit are to be reported. Apart from the comparison of GSTR-2A and 3B, there are 4 tables. What are those 4 tables? Table 6, Table 7, Table 12, and Table 13. So Table 6 is the credit which is availed during the current year. That is, the accounting is happening in 1819, availment in GSTR-3B is also happening in 1819, that is Table 6. Or, irrespective of the accounting, the credits are availed in 3B of 1819. All of those credits which will come in Table 6. Next comes credit reversed in the same year. That would come in Table 7. That is, all the credits which are coming as reversals, that is 4B of GSTR-3B, would come in Table 7 of GSTR-9 of 1819. So Table 6 and Table 7 are both linked to GSTR-3B, like I said, the thumb rule of GSTR-9 reporting. Next comes the credits of 1819 which are availed or reversed in the next year. So whatever credits of 1819 are availed in the next year, that is carried forward and availed in the next year, would come in Table 13, and whatever credits of 1819 reversed in the next year or reversed in 1920 would come in table 12. Mind you, both table 13 and table 12 should have ideally happened through GSTR 3B in 1920 by September 2019. There has been no extension for this, unlike 1718 where the extension was given till March 2019. There is no such extension for 1819 credit to be availed. So in short, the credits availed would be again divided into two. Availed during the current year would come in table 6. Availed in next year would come in table 13. Reversed in the same year would come in table 7. And reversed in next year would come in table 12. Sorry. So this table 6 that I've been saying, what are the various components of table 6? So table 6 has got 6A to 6H. 6A is auto-populated, which comes from GSTR 3B. That is, the total of table 4A would come in 6A, right? So what all are the things that come in 4A? 4A can be totally divided into forward charge. That is, all the credits that are appearing in 3B can be divided into forward charge, reverse charge credit, import of goods, import of services, and input service distributor credit. That is ISD credit, right? So the forward charge credits of GSTR 3B that is appearing in 4A5 should ideally be reported in table 6B and 6H. Again, this entire credit has to be divided into input service capital goods. Then we have reverse charge credits. They have to be reported in 6C and 6D. 6C is unregistered credit and 6D is registered credit. So what do I mean by this unregistered credit and registered credit? Whatever credits that I'm availing under reverse charge mechanism for which the supplier is unregistered would come under 6C. Whatever credits that I'm availing under reverse charge mechanism for which the supplier is registered would come in 6D. So supplier is unregistered, when I say it would be legal, certain GTA where the goods transport agent is not registered, and so on and so forth. 6D could be security where the supplier is registered but there is reverse charge mechanism due to compulsion by law. That would come under 6D. Next comes 6E, that is import of goods. All the goods imported would come in 6E, and 6F would be import of services. That is, import of services are also coming under reverse charge, but they would be coming under 6F. ISD credit would be coming under 6G. One tip here would be, just in case there are errors in GSTR 3B, that is, if all my credits I have shown it in 4A5, then while reporting in GSTR-9, I can do that interhead correction. Basically, all the credits coming in 4A5, I can divide them into 6B to 6H while reporting in GSTR-9. Similarly, all the reversals would be reported in table 7. And ultimately, what would happen is table 7J would be the net input tax credit availed during the year. So all the credits utilized during the year would be coming in table 9, and unused credit would be coming as a balance in electronic credit ledger for March 2019. So all the credits which are coming in 3B, let's say 1 crore credits, which I have availed, not utilized, which I have availed in GSTR 3B, to the extent utilized would come in table 9. Table 9 is the tax paid table. And to the extent not utilized would be balance in electronic credit ledger. How would you reconcile the entire input tax credit with books? That would be input tax credit availed plus the input tax credit availed in the next year minus reversals of input tax credit in the next year would be input tax credit as per books. That is, if I take the total credits as per books, ideally I would have availed some in this year, availed some in next year, and reversed some in next year. On all of this, I'm talking about GSTR-3B. But all of it I have accounted it during 1819. So whatever I have availed in this year, plus availed in next year, minus reversal in next year would ideally be my input tax credit as per books. That would be your reconciliation checkpoint. Another checkpoint to see if what has been reported in GSTR-9 is making sense would be whatever is the credit coming in 4C of GSTR-3B. What is 4C? 4C would be net credit available after deducting all the reversals. That is 4A, total credit availed, minus 4B, reversals during the year, would give us 4C. Ideally, this 4C should match with 7J. So 7J is 7J of GSTR-9 I'm talking about. That is 6I of GSTR-9, that is 6B to 6H, minus all the ITC reversed during the current year, that is 7I of GSTR-9. So 6I minus 7I would give me 7J. So 7J should ideally be equal to 4C of GSTR-3B. However, if it is not the same, what would be the difference? The differences can be only if there are erroneous credits reported in GSTR-9, either excess reported or short reported, or reversal of credits now done in GSTR-9. Ideally, all the credits that are availed in 3B and only the credits availed in 3B, whether they're availed correctly or incorrectly, have to be reported in GSTR-9. That is where my 4C would be matching with 7J. However, if there are certain credits which I realize, oh, I had to avail 1 crore, but I have availed only 90 lakhs, 10 lakhs, let me put it in GSTR-9. If I do that, and if I try to do that, my GSTR-9 7J will not match with 4G. Or if I say, oh, 10 lakhs I have availed extra, and if I try to correct it in GSTR-9, even then my 7J will not match with 4G, and that would not be the correct way of filing GSTR-9. Like I said, the source of credit for GSTR-9 would be 3B. Whatever credits availed in 3B during the current year would be the source. So if I've availed it correctly, great. If I've not availed it correctly, GSTR-9 may not be the right portal to correct it. However, if I go ahead and still correct it, there could be certain corrections that I do. That is, I reverse certain credits in table 7 while filing GSTR-9. If I'm doing that, then I need to make sure that it is paid using DRC-03. Then that difference could be justified. That is, difference between 7J and 4C can be justified if there is any additional reversal that is shown in GSTR-9, which is paid through DRC-03. I'm sure a chapter over what is the payment that can be done using DRC-03 is already discussed in one of the other videos. So that can be looked at over there. The checkpoint for reverse charge credit. Ideally, whatever liability is being shown in 4G of GSTR-9 should be the credit which would be appearing in table 6C or 6D or 6F, right? Because unlike the earlier laws, GST law allows to claim the credit in the same year as the liability is paid under RCM. That is how liability under 4G should be equal to the credit claimed under 6C, 6D or 6F. 6C would be the unregistered credit, 6D would be the credits from registered persons under reverse charge mechanism, and 6F is credits on import of service. Another way to check RCM liability and RCM credit claimed would be GSTR-2A. So GSTR-2A table 4 is about the RCM. That is, if I am a registered person and my outward supplies are liable to RCM, then I would report it in my GSTR-1 as such. And that would come and sit in my GSTR-2A table 4. So when it comes and sits in my GSTR-2A table 4, that could be a good checkpoint for me to check if the liability that I have paid is either equal to that or more than that. If it is less than that, then there is something which is not paid. Also, the credit which is claimed in 6D should be either equal to that or more than table 4 of GSTR-2B, GSTR-2A. This is all with respect to only registered RCM. That is, where reverse charge mechanism is applicable and the registered person is the supplier. So the overall summary of reportability of input tax credit in GSTR-9 would be, if the input tax credit is availed excess in 3B or the TRAN return, do not correct in GSTR-9. That is, GSTR-9 is not the place for correcting the input tax credit. Ineligible credit is availed in GSTR-3B. Report the same thing in GSTR-9. Excess credit availed. That is, instead of 1 lakh, 10 lakhs is availed. That is, 10 is just by mistake added to make it 10 lakhs, right? And it is reversed in the same year in 3B. In GSTR-9, while reporting, show it as 10 lakh minus 9 lakh, 1 lakh in table 6, because that is what will be comparable with table 8. However, if it is reversed in next year, that is in 1920 by September, then show 10 lakh in table 6, 9 lakh in table 12. And whatever would be the difference in table 8 would be the reconciliation for that would be available in table 12. So we'll discuss what is this table 8 in one of my subsequent presentations. Credit short availed in 3B of 1819, balance availed in 1920. To the extent actually availed, report it in GSTR-9 in table 6B to 6H, and to the extent actually availed in the next year, that is in 1920, show it in 8C and table 13. Credit short availed in 3B of 1819, balance not availed. To the extent actually availed, show it in 6B to 6H of GSTR-9 of 1819. Whatever is not availed, report it in 8E. Input tax credit reversed. Ineligible credit not reversed at all. Do not correct it in GSTR-9. Like I said, the source for GSTR-9 input tax credit is electronic credit ledger or 3B of that particular year. So if ineligible credit is not reversed, do not correct it in GSTR-9. If it is reversed in 1819, show it in table 12 and not in table 7. If it is not reversed in 1819 also, do not report anywhere. With this, I conclude this discussion. Thank you.